All right, hi guys. Hey, we are going to give you a quick little drawing lesson. Many students, especially in ceramics that have not had a drawing class, kind of feel unconfident about their about their ability to draw. And we really want you to try to draw things before you start to sculpt them. So, and this can be for anybody. This is a good drawing lesson for anybody. But first, there's the idea of knowing how to recognize certain shapes. So here's what you're going to do. And through this video, I'm going to ask you, if you're just watching it on your own, to make sure to stop the video after a few things that I draw, then you do it. Then stop, then pause the video, then you do it. So here's what we're going to do. We're just going to identify some basic shapes. And the first one is, we're going to call it a peanut shape. And I want you to draw these shapes as big as I do. That's why I drew that line across the center first. So we're going to do some up here and some down here. And I would like you to label them as well. So that's a peanut shape. It's almost like a figure eight, but not quite. It has kind of a narrow part here. Another one we're going to do is basically a teardrop shape. Kind of comes to a point on top. Teardrop. Okay, we're going to do two smaller ones right here. Here's a football. So there's a football. And there's a circle. Okay, and all these shapes, they're going to make sense. I promise they're going to make sense here when we start to draw your design. Okay, another one we're going to do is a pear shape, where it's not pointy at the end, it's still kind of round, but then it definitely gets bigger around down at the bottom and kind of narrower up on top a little bit. So it has kind of a pear-shaped feel to it. The last one on the top here is going to be a club. And what we think about is it's kind of like a pear shape, but it's a little bit narrower, has kind of a handle down here, and then it gets a little bit bigger up on top, and then kind of comes down to almost looks like a chicken leg, that kind of thing. But we're going to call it a club. Okay, there's a few more that we're going to do. One is a diamond shape, and when we start drawing your artwork, you're going to start to see these shapes, and these are the shapes you're going to draw first. Okay, so that's a diamond. Let's see, the next one is an oval. So an oval is symmetrical. So you want to make sure it's kind of the same on top and on bottom. So sometimes I'll draw it really lightly first just to kind of get a good idea of where it's going to go. And then I'll kind of darken it up. And I want your drawings, when you do this, make your lines nice and dark. And I do that same kind of thing with a circle. Many times I'll draw it kind of softly first and then draw it darker. So that's an oval. We also are going to draw a cone. When you draw a cone, is basically a tip at the top, comes down at slight angles, and make sure this line right here has a definite kind of smile feature to it. And that will help make it look like it's more round. So there's your cone. We're going to make a cylinder. That one, you make an oval, kind of skinny across the top. And you want to make sure it's round here and kind of the opposite round on top. Then you're just going to come straight down from the outer edge. And for our purposes, we're just going to make this kind of smile line, drop it right down here, and do the exact same thing there. That'll help make it look like it's more of a form, which are three-dimensional, that you're going to make. So that's a cylinder. Then we're going to just make a rectangle, a nice long, skinny rectangle. Most of you know what that is. And now we're going to make a trapezoid, and that's one kind of like a rectangle that has two parallel sides. So there's kind of a trapezoid. And we could think of more, but usually these shapes will get most of the shapes that we need to recognize when we start to draw our sculpture. All right, so that's the end of this video. You need to make one of these. You will hand one of these in, put your name on it, nice and clearly, draw dark, have them labeled, and then on the next video, I'll show you how we can apply these shapes to drawing our sculpture.